I'm 7 years old. I'm standing in my mom's bedroom looking at the mirror chewing. I'm like, it is the yummiest, juiciest, most mouth-wateringest chewing gum I had tried in my entire life. So I took that chewing gum. I tiptoed over to my mom's dresser. I stood on the tippy toes. I opened up the drawer and I looked to the left. I looked to the right. And right as I was about to put the chewing gum inside, my mom walks into the room. She looks at me. She says, Amin, did you take that chewing gum from the grocery store? I look at my mom and I gulp just like this. I look at her straight in the eyes and I say no. But here's the thing. On that day when my mom asked me if I had taken that chewing gum from the grocery store and I said no, do you know what I had done? I lied. But I have to tell you the whole story. Earlier that day, I was sitting on my couch and I was reading a book. I was like, oh my goodness, this book is amazing. Whoever wrote this book is a genius. It's hilarious. And while I was reading that book, my mom comes and says, Amin, we have to go to the grocery store. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a big fan of the grocery store. I'd rather sit at home and just read my book and play. I mean, eggs, milk, cheese, bread, I just don't want to deal with it. So when I got to the store, I was angry and I was upset. I was like, oh man, I really don't want to be here. Oh man, I really wish I was at home. Oh man, I really wish I wasn't here. But then, out of the corner of my eyes, I saw it. It was purple and it was pink and it was blue. And when I grabbed it and I put it into my hands, it said, Bubblicious. You guys, it was dripping in watermelon sweetness. I'm talking the yummiest, most amazingest chewing gum I had ever seen in my entire life. I took that chewing gum, I put it against my chest, and I started thinking about all the places I could eat it. I was like, oh man, I could eat this on the bus on the way to school. I could eat this on the slide in the playground. I could eat this while I'm reading a book on my couch. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Amin, if you love this chewing gum so much, I mean, if you really love it, if you adore it, if you love it so much, well then why don't you just marry it? Of course you can't marry chewing gum. And I was only 7 years old. Who even thinks about that? Anyways, back to the story. So I have this chewing gum in my hands, and my mom comes and she says, Amin, what do you got? I say, Mommy, this is Bubblicious. Mommy, it's sweet, it's juicy. I need it, I want it. And before I can finish, my mom says, N-O, meow. Do your parents ever say that to you? My mom said, Amin, we have so many chewing gums. Why could you possibly need another one? But I said, no, Mommy, this one's different. This one's Bubblicious. It's sweet. It's juicy. I need it. I want it. But by the time I looked up, my mom had already gone. She went to the cash register to go check out. So I took that chewing gum and I tiptoed back to where I found it. I stood on my tippy toes. And right as I was about to put it back, I looked to the left, I looked to the right, and then I did something unlike anything I had ever done in my entire life. I took that chewing gum, I opened up my pocket, and I dropped it in, and I forgot all about it. Until my mom caught me, and when she did, I started crying my eyes, and I was like, Mommy, I'm so sorry, Mommy, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was doing. I'm only 7 years old. I'm too young to go to jail. And you know what my mom did? She sent me to jail. No, I'm kidding. No, my mom didn't send me to jail. No, on that day, my mom taught me a lesson. She taught me a lesson on forgiveness. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Assalamu alaikum everybody, hoping you are well. This is Amin Aaser from Noor Kids, and today I'm excited to share with you a lesson on forgiveness, because here's the thing. Every once in a while we make mistakes. Our head just isn't there. We're just not thinking correctly, and we do something that immediately afterwards we think to ourselves, oh my goodness, I shouldn't have done that. Oh my goodness, that was not the right thing for me to do. Oh my goodness, I just don't even know how this happened. But once it happens, what do you do next? Now, of course, our goal is never to make any of these mistakes. The goal is to be perfect. And you know what? That day when I took that chewing gum, I learned about forgiveness, and I'm going to tell you about it today. But I also got into trouble. And it's not something we ever should try to do, but sometimes it happens. And today I want to talk exactly about that. Now, before I do that, I want to introduce you guys to myself and also to Noor Kids. For those that do not know me, my name is Amin Aaser, and I am the author and creator of Noor Kids. What is Noor Kids, you ask? Well, it's a great question. Noor Kids is an amazing series designed to help children like me and you fall in love with Islam. Every month, as a member of Noor Kids, you get a new book in the mail. Books like The Power of Prayer and Never Give Up and Faithful Friends and Heart and Soul and Animals of Allah and Faith Over Fear and Fairness for All and The Dark Whisper and so many more. I could go on for days because we've published over 40 books. Every month you get a new book just like this delivered to your mail, along with a global Muslim citizen passport. We're able to collect badges. Now here's the thing. I've been talking about trying Noor Kids. This is the last week possible. All right, we're doing this for Eid. And come Tuesday of next week, this is no longer going to be available. Right now, for $1, that's 99 cents, you are able to try Noor Kids. Get your first package, your first book, your first parent's guide, your first passport in the mail for just 99 cents. It's an opportunity for you to try Noor Kids, inshallah, to fall in love with it, and also to support us, because we exist because of people like you. The website is noorkids.com. Take advantage of it before the end of the week, because once it's gone forever. All right? Let your mom and dad know. And mom and dad, if you're here, take advantage, please. Yeah? All right. So, and then before we get started with our first book, and I'm going to be reading this book, you're going to love it. It's called Forgive and Forget. I want to just remind you, follow us. If you are on YouTube, follow us on YouTube. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, follow us as well. Inshallah, you'll benefit longer with more stuff. We have reaction videos, other different things. Follow us. Inshallah, you'll love. I'm going to be reading out of this book called Forgive and Forget. Now, before we get started, and look at this one. These guys look so angry on the cover. But before I read it, allow me to introduce you to the characters in Noor Kids. So, Noor Kids follows the story of Amin, Shireen, Asad, and Amira. They live in a city called Maple Grove, and they go to a school called Northport Elementary. Now, let me tell you about them. First, there is Shireen. Shireen has a twin brother named Jafar. You see her knitting here. She is a world traveler and loves to explore. Why? Because she wants to be just like her mom, who works for National Geographic. Then there's Amin. You see Amin here playing in the rain. He's got an older brother named Hasib, who is in college. And lots of times Amin does stuff without thinking about it, and because of that he gets into trouble. Not today, though. It's Shireen who's getting in trouble today. I don't want to give away too much. But then there's Asad. Asad's a scientist. He loves to break things apart just to figure out how to put them back together again. He's got a little baby sister named Yusra. Then there's Amira. Amira is an artist. She loves exploring all of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's painting, all of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings through art and poetry and painting. Now, these four, the Noor Kids, I'm going to be reading one story out of this book called Apology Accepted. And before we start, I need you to say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. All right, very good. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Shireen sees her friends outside the gymnasium. Assalamu alaikum. I've been looking everywhere for you guys. Or I've been looking for you guys everywhere, says Shireen. Oh, wa alaikum salam, Shireen. Let's go, Amin, or we'll be late, says Asad. But later, guys, I have a meeting about the art conference, says Amira. Meeting, says Shireen. Shireen finds herself all alone. The next day, Shireen comes late to lunch, but her friends don't seem to notice. I can't believe that I was selected. Great job, Amira, says Asad. Yeah, congratulations, Amira, says Amin. Wait, what happened? Says Shireen. The friends continue to talk, and Shireen feels left out. Amin says, hey guys, we're all winners. Did you realize that? Amira says, right. Asad won the robot challenge. Amin won most valuable player. And I won best new artist of the year. Oh, says Shireen. Alhamdulillah. Shireen, did you win anything? Well, says Shireen, my friends are all winners. I have to win at something too, she thinks to herself. Shireen decides to compete in the Book Readers Challenge. Well, I'm sure to win the Book Readers Challenge, says Shireen. You're competing in that, says Amira? But there's only 1 week left. I haven't seen you reading. But I have been. You've been too busy to notice. See you later, guys. I have tons to read. Shireen goes to the library and checks out 15 books. This should be enough to make me the winner, she thinks to herself. Shireen sees Sarah checking out books too. Are you doing the Book Readers Challenge, Shireen, says Sarah. Of course, are you? Sarah says, I've been reading every spare moment for a week now. Oh, yeah, says Shireen. Me too. Well, happy reading, says Sarah. I have to win, thinks Shireen. Then my friends will see that I'm a winner too. The last day of the challenge finally arrives. Write down how many books you read and pass it in, says Mr. Salman. Shireen sees that Sarah read 18 books. You see that? So she's looking at Sarah. Sarah says 18. I read every spare moment, but I only finished 12 books, says Shireen. But I started late. If I read the full 2 weeks, I would have read more than her. Making a sudden decision, Shireen changes her 12 to 22. Oh my goodness. Shireen lied. Now, have you ever done something wrong and tried to convince yourself that it was right? Like Shireen, she lied. She wrote 22, but she tried to convince herself. She tried to say, oh, no, but I only did it for a week. If I did it for 2 weeks, 22, I'll totally be able to do that. Or like when I was telling you my gum story in the beginning, I was like, oh, just a little piece of gum, not going to hurt anyone. Right? This is the trick that sometimes gets played on us. We start thinking that something that's wrong is right. And that, of course, is not right at all. That's still wrong. Do you think Shireen's decision will hurt anyone? Now, Shireen doing this, will it hurt anyone? Yeah. It's going to hurt Sarah because Sarah deserves to win, or maybe there's someone else. But she did not deserve to win, so it's of course going to hurt somebody. All right, let's continue. Mr. Salman looks through the numbers and announces the winner. The winner of the Book Readers Challenge is Shireen, says Mr. Salman. Everyone cheers for Shireen. Sarah claps too. 22 books, says Sarah. Amazing, Shireen. I just love to read, Sarah, says Shireen. I read during lunch, recess, and even on the bus. I guess I have to try harder next time, says Sarah. At lunch and in the halls, everyone congratulates Shireen. Her friends give her high fives. You look at that. Look, this guy gives her high fives. Oh, good job, Shireen. You're the winner. This person, oh, good job, Shireen. You're the winner. Amir gives her a high five. Oh, good job, Shireen. Soon, Mr. Salman arrives to talk with Shireen. Shireen, one last thing. Can you provide us with a list of the books that you read? Everyone in class will love to see it. Look at Shireen's face. Sure, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you tomorrow, she says. Shireen is feeling worried. She lied about reading so many books. At home, she asks Dad for advice. Dad, I made a big mistake at school. That's the first step, sweet pea, says Dad. First step for what? Says Shireen. To ask for forgiveness. The first step is to admit your mistake. What's next? Asks Shireen. Number 2 is to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the bottom of your heart to forgive you. I did that too, says Shireen. After Salah today, I asked him for forgiveness. Alhamdulillah, says Dad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is much forgiving. He is the much forgiving. He's Al-Ghafur. He's the one who forgives us. But now you must apologize to the people you hurt and promise to never make the same mistake again. Shireen knows what she has to do. So again, what are the steps? First is to admit that you make a mistake. And you can admit just to yourself to say, oh man, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. The next thing is to talk to Allah and to ask Allah, say, yeah, Allah, forgive me. And then number 3, it's to anyone who you hurt, you have to ask them for forgiveness and you have to promise never to do that mistake again. All right? Those are the steps for forgiveness. The next day, Shireen explains to Mr. Salman and Sarah what she did. Could you ever forgive me? Sarah, says Shireen. Of course, Shireen, we all make mistakes, says Sarah. Admitting your mistakes takes courage, says Mr. Salman, and forgiving is a noble act. You both go and sit down now. Now Mr. Salman is talking in front of class. He says, class, I have reviewed the numbers and discovered a mistake. Sarah is actually the winner of the book Readers Challenge. Everyone claps and cheers for Sarah. Shireen cheers the loudest. And hey, you guys, I just discovered I think I'm reading this book in the wrong viewer, and so because of that, some of the pictures are a little bit funky. I'm sorry about that, but if you actually have the book, you'll be able to read it totally. All right, anyways, Shireen claps the loudest. After class, Shireen asked Mr. Salman why he didn't tell the class about what she did. Right? Because Mr. Salman could have gone in front of the class and been like, everyone, Shireen cheated. But he didn't do that. He just said, I recounted and Sarah's actually the winner. Mr. Salman says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hides our faults, so we should hide the faults of others too. Thank you, Mr. Salman, says Shireen. At lunch, Shireen sees Sarah sitting with Amira, Asad, and Amin. She turns to sit somewhere else. You see that all of them are sitting? So Shireen says, oh, I'm not going to sit there. And then Amira says, Shireen, come sit with us. But I'm not a winner anymore, says Shireen. Sarah finishes by saying, you're always a winner to us. The end. You guys, this story was amazing. There's so much in this story, and it's so like, I feel like I could be there and I could make a mistake like that too. But anyways, like, all right, I want to talk about a couple of things in this story. All right? I want to talk about 3 things. Number 1, I want to talk about the steps. What are the steps that Shireen followed? First, she admitted that she made a mistake, and she could just do that herself to say, you know what, I made a mistake. Number 2, she asked Allah, she pleaded to Allah to forgive her. And you can do that anywhere, anytime, in any language, just by raising your hands and saying, Ya Allah, I am sorry, please forgive me. Okay. Number 3, what did she do? She talked to the people who she had hurt. She talked to Mr. Salman and she talked to Sarah and she said, hey, look, I'm sorry. And number 4, she promised never to do it again. These, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are these steps for forgiveness. Look, we are going to make mistakes. It happens. But Allah will forgive us. He will always forgive us. But we have to follow this recipe. If we follow this recipe, Allah will forgive us. All right? Now, number 2, when Mr. Salman learned about this, did he go on the top of the rooftop and say, "Oh, everybody, Shireen made a mistake"? No, he didn't do that. He kept it a secret. Because think about it. How many mistakes do I make that no one even knows about? Because Allah has kept it a secret. So in the same way, if we ever learn that someone else makes a mistake, and that person comes to us and says, "Hey, you know what? I'm sorry I did it," we should be like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we should say, "You know what? I forgive you, and I'm not going to tell anyone about it. I'm going to keep it a secret." Right? That's exactly what Mr. Salman and Sarah does. Sarah doesn't go to the friends and say, "Hey, you guys, you know what Shireen did?" No, she doesn't do that. She keeps it a secret. And finally, I want you guys to just get a sense. How do you think Shireen feels now? Right? Because here, in this situation, when Mr. Salman's like, "Hey, I want a list of all the books," how do you think Shireen was feeling? Shireen was probably feeling pretty bad and pretty scared. But now, after she came clean and told everyone about what she did, do you think she's feeling better? Absolutely. She's feeling much better. Now, I want to share with you like this this thing, okay? So this is a little just kind of activity to show you the power of forgiveness, all right? So this is our soul, all right? Our soul, and maybe, we can talk a little bit about what our soul is tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about the soul, but I just want you to understand that this is our soul, and our soul is inside our body, okay? Our soul is actually, it's going to live forever, and our soul is, this is actually who we are, okay? It's inside of us. Now, when we make mistakes like the way that Shireen was making mistakes, okay? And we do things that we're not supposed to do, like when we cheat or when we steal or when we lie, our soul, while it is perfectly pure right now, you see that? It's so pure. You can see right through it, right? We start adding little, stuff into our soul. And this is not good. Our soul starts to get colored, right? So when we make one mistake, there's just a little bit that goes in. When we make a second mistake, there's more. When we make a third mistake, there's more. When we make a fourth mistake, there's more. And look, our soul goes from being completely pure to now, I want you to look at this. Let me shake it up. Our soul goes from being completely pure. Is this pure anymore? Is it pure anymore? No. After we make a mistake, can our soul ever be pure again? Yeah, it can be. It can be. You guys, it can be. And this is the amazing thing, okay? Even if we make a mistake and our soul has gotten a little bit, gotten a little bit dirty because we've made mistakes, okay? We can take out that gunk. And one of the best ways we can do it is by doing what's called istighfar, all right? Istighfar, which is in here, is different, okay? And it's very powerful and it's potent, okay? It's so potent that actually I need to bring something here. Hold on. All right, so istighfar means to ask Allah to forgive us. When we raise our hands and we say, "Ya Allah, please forgive me. Ya Allah, please forgive me. Ya Allah, I'm sorry what I've done." When we raise our hands and we go through that process that I shared with you, remember those 4 steps? Admitting that you make a mistake, asking Allah for forgiveness, asking the people that you've hurt and telling them what happened and asking for them. And then number 4, promising that you never do it again. This process is istighfar. Now, I want you to see, we're going to add the istighfar into our soul. And this might take a minute or two, but very potent, very powerful, okay? We've added all of the istighfar in. And I want you to see this color, okay? You see this color? Now I'm going to shake this up, okay? And I really hope that this works because it should work. And if it doesn't work, oh my goodness. I've made a mistake. I'll have to ask for forgiveness. No, I'm kidding. All right, so we're going to shake it up a little bit. We have to let the istighfar settle a little bit. You can see it. It's already turning a little bit lighter. It's not as dark as it used to be. Okay. And it's getting even lighter. You can see it. It's already getting even lighter. Let's do it some more. Let's do it some more. Oh my goodness, you guys, it's almost clear. Do you see that? It's almost clear now. It was like, it went from red to orange to light red. Oh my gosh, and the lights turned off. It's so powerful that the lights have turned off. Oh my God, let me get the lights. As you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the soul is basically back to normal, okay? That is the power of istighfar. Anytime we make a mistake, we can go through that process. We can ask Allah to forgive us, and He will. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm going to end with one last thing. I told you guys about a dad joke challenge. I have an announcement about it. Here it is right now. Hey, oh my goodness, did he really say that? Kind of a joke. And I challenge you to... All right, hold on. I'm going to say that one more time because that's actually a pre-recording. I'm going to do it again. 1 second. What did the cow say on the final day of Ramadan? Eid Mubarak. I hope you like that one. One thing that you might know about me is that I love dad jokes, and the best dad jokes are Muslim dad jokes. Now you might be wondering, what is a dad joke? A dad joke is a corny, a dry, oh my goodness, did he really say that? Kind of a joke. And I challenge you to create your own. I want you to think of your best, funniest Muslim dad joke. I want you to record yourself by clicking the button below, and I want you to share. I'm going to be picking my 10 favorite Muslim dad jokes. I'll be stringing them together in an amazing reaction. The world will never know what hit it. I can't wait to see it. All right, assalamu alaikum. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Muslim Dad Joke Challenge is officially open. So if you're on the app, you can go into the challenges section, upload your video, and starting tomorrow, I'm going to be sharing some of my favorites. If you're not on the app, you can go to noorkids.com/dadjoke. If you're not on the app, why aren't you on the app? Come on, get on the app. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are done for the day. I'm going to see you in the same place, same time. And I just want to make one final note. Again, look, this is the last week to try Noor Kids for $1. Give it a try. Your family will love it. I will love you for it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Oops.